I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7.
Hello, hello, hello. I know you said fluff here. Let's see. The stream chat only picked up the IE. Hello, penguins. Oh, we haven't had a chest here in a while. I haven't had a a shout out thingy to read off. Maybe the chest will come back in the future. Fluff was just too fast. It's true. It's true. Alright. We have a new submitter with H20 here. I seem to remember this name, so it must have been in someone else's submitted game. And then I'm going to make it to the mech race today, I swear. Even if I have to go long. But this is an interesting match. Is this a Global League game? This is a Global League game. Tier 3. Is Adder Tier 3 and Caustic Finale? We have... Oh no, this is Tesla. This is Tesla. Tesla plays Adder, right? That's like their thing. You submit games by DMing me on Discord. I mean, you can also accept them in other ways, but if you can get the game to me, I'll show it. It's RIP. If I remember correctly, Tesla is an Adder specialist, right? They always play Adder and they always like make a mech, something like that, and march across the map. I don't know H20's play style, even though I recognize the name. I would expect Andy to be pretty good in this matchup because Andy's super is kind of like a souped up Adder normal power, just like amazing. Adder only account, okay. But, you know, Adder does get 2 or 3 normal powers in before the Andy super, so it's very possible that Tesla would be able to get a really nice advantage going, especially since the comm tower is very easy to take and secure. So hitting that 20% firepower threshold makes it easier to kill off all of Andy's units. So, as far as tier 3 matchups go, probably one of Adder's better ones. Like, Lash would be an absolute nightmare, and I assume Drake is tier 3 on this map. Like, that would be also awful, because then even with your normal powers getting you more damage dealt to your opponent, you've got more units and they all get hit by the global damage, and then you're gonna have a hard time recovering. So at least with Andy, you can theoretically put yourself in a far more advantageous position. But in the very early game, it's 2 COs with no day-to-days. So we'll see how it goes. Andy's going to be incentivized to go for like quick medium tanks and the like for this map. Some nice beefy units to fight tanks and survive combats, then be healed up. We'll see what Adder does. I am going to expect quite a few mechs. Oh, Andy also has, as I've said many a time, Andy has some pretty good mechs. Looks like we're going to go for the early artillery opener here for Andy. This is kind of classic. You usually send it up here into this corner, and then it's fighting around like these bridges and stuff. It has a very easy time securing this corner. Looks like Tessa's going to respond with just a tank down here. We'll see when it gets done. It doesn't tend to be nearly as effective as the artillery, just because if your opponent responds with a tank on the next turn, they can kind of just have a tank stare off and you have a hard time pushing into them, where the artillery doesn't have that issue. Tesla did rush this central city, which does tend to be highly contested. As to whether or not they'll be able to hold it, we will see, because sometimes you rush these cities and it ends up going poorly because your opponent's able to attack it and then take it from you, and then suddenly you rush the city that you immediately lost. And it looks like Andy might be planning to do that, as we have another artillery built. So that's a good way to start putting pressure on a city and start taking it. Okay, now Adder has an artillery built down here. It's a little odd, but it should be fine. Adder does go over here, finish off this infantry. Oh, okay, artillery to do an artillery stare down over here. That works. This will be essentially an infantry for infantry, because the artillery can fire and finish when it gets off. Wow, but Adder is having to hurt their economy here. Both of these cities going uncaptured. Okay. Looks like Andy didn't want to let this other contested city go. Sent this infantry in. It's completely without backups. So this tank can smack it with ease. Pop, pop. Okay, this infantry kind of regretted going this way, because it was no longer able to get to all the other targets due to the river being in the way. So it's very interesting that this guy then continued to go in this route instead of going here. So H20 might run into the exact same issue again. Are you a subscriber? Or are you a Patreon subscriber? If so, you should have Discord access. Ambush boop. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have just 2 infantries try and stop this capture, but they'll both die for it. Just kind of relieve a lot of pressure. Going over here with that early tank moving up. I know, Fluffy, you never went on the Patreon. You got in because there was like a group game. That's okay. I mean, it's not a huge deal. If people want, there is a Patreon you can support. I've only used the Patreon funds. Patreon says you've been a member since 2024 in May. I will have to get that. Are you talking about the YouTube membership? the Patreon membership. Patreon one should work automatically as long as your Patreon is hooked up to your Discord. The YouTube one doesn't get you emo. I wanted to make the YouTube one free, but they did force $1. I use, by the way, the Patreon and all that stuff. That's all money that just gets put towards community events. Although very slowly administered ones. Total noob here. Well, welcome. Okay. You can really see that how annoying this artillery is for pushing in here. It's any direct unit that wants to interrupt would have to hit from this bridge and get shelled by an artillery, and it's very hard to hit this artillery because the infantry only has one tile to be attacked from by a vehicle. So it becomes really tough to stop this lone artillery plus a bunch of infantry push. Tesla's going to try and do it by utilizing artillery of their own. And it's going to... Well, presently it's going to fail just because H20 can join cap this and then attack this artillery from the river and forest. One, two, three, four, five, six. So this tank would be able to reach. So, depending on how everything moves over here, this tank might have to come up and help interrupt this capture, but even when you do that, it does get shelled by the artillery. Just makes these corners real tough due to all of the chokes. Interestingly, H20 decides to join with this 9 health infantry. I think they did that because it's kind of injured. I don't think I would do that personally because this is the only infantry here that can step onto this river tile to attack this artillery. So you could get 2 infantry attacks on it, which seems pretty juicy. But that's okay. And oh boy, lots of tanks moving up here. So this is kind of saying, Tesla, if you stay here and use your artillery to clear my infantry and your tank and artillery to like interrupt this capture, like all of that stuff, I'm going to send my tanks in and I'm going to kill all of your vehicles for that. And then I'll just take your city later anyway. This infantry did that attack there, sacrificial attack to do 1 damage. That's just to make captures a little bit slower. And this is that concern earlier with rushing this contested city and then you potentially lose it. Right now, the only thing that can interrupt... Ooh, it's a little dicey having this tank be able to strike here for H20. But currently, the only thing that can interrupt is this tank. So I would have liked to see H20 not build a tank up here, but build it here. Because then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... it would be able to hit this tank after it goes for the interrupt. That's okay. Yeah, it takes that tank first strike. Oh, okay, it doesn't go... Oh, well, that's even better. That does clear the spot, so now the infantry can go for the interrupt. And Tesla gets a tank out of it. Now, there are 3 tanks over here for H20 that can be used to attack these tanks, and I assume we will see that. We have this nice mech backing up this infantry. Makes this tank really awkward. So if it's just a single mech shot, it's not so bad because the tank should survive it. You know, Kerbert, if you've been a YouTube member for that long and you want Discord access, you can send me a DM on Discord and I can get it for you. It's no biggie. Okay, so this is very interesting. So H20 is going to follow up on that promise of like attacking in here, but only gets to go after a single artillery while having to be put into artillery range. Very dicey. And it means that this tank kind of died for nothing, which isn't amazing. Having the tank swarm in over here, if we go back. So right here, it's like, I guess Issue Zero is thinking, how do I even get my tanks to finish this guy off, right? Because his infantry's in the way. But you don't have to finish this capture. So you can have like, probably this tank go here, infantry finishes this off, and then these two tanks come in and kill this tank. Or you could have just a single tank attack it because it's an 8 health tank. So you do quite a bit of damage, and you could also get an interrupt on this if you want, or lots of other options. Just so long as you're not like moving into artillery range, like this is going to be very painful. It was not for nothing, it was for the city, yeah. It died for the property flip. This is a super contested city, it's just going to get flipped again. Yeah, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You kind of get your artillery here, but with the adder power, this would be able to hit it. I guess this one wouldn't. You just have to block for this one. The adder power is being threatened all the time now, just because it's active. So, +1 movement and the +10, +10 stats, of course, are available. Oof, look at all of these attacks, killing off a bunch of Andy's units. Most of them are, I mean, these are pretty much all infantry going down, but that still matters. This isn't the worst, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not the worst trade for Andy, because the artillery can fire and then the tank can shoot, and then another tank can come up and hit this artillery, which I think is going to be plan. A lot of stuff over here, yeah. Oh, never mind. We're not going to follow through with the push up here. Looks like we're really focused on trying to keep this city under Andy's control. Sticking with just like a ton of tanks here. I think that Adder has a pretty clean attack. I guess you don't. If Adder had an infantry just slightly closer to this base, then the power with this tank and this tank would clear the base, and then the infantry could start capturing it, which would be pretty nasty. As is, that's not really an option. The city does start getting captured. Andy does have a nice income lead here, 3k. Yeah, the not taking up is kind of rough. Ooh, looks like we're decided to dive in here. Now, there's already been one tank that died for this city. And it's very much looking like we're just going to have another one. It was a flip of a city, so it's not like if you lose 14k in order to flip a city, that does mean you only have to have that city for 7 turns for it to pay off. It's a 2k difference. They lose 1,000 and you gain 1,000, but still rough. Here comes our adder power. Kind of a weak one. We do have the medium tank here, Andy. Adder is also hyper fixated on this city. Okay. I'm surprised this artillery decided to shoot here. I guess it's choices like that or this infantry or this mech. But this guy could have just walked across the river and struck. So, a little weird. But here we go. We're getting tons of medium tanks here. The city is going to flip. it will let Andy maintain a an income lead by just 1k with this flipping, but very nice for Adder. The one thing here for Andy I would really like to see is this infantry stepping onto this mountain, because Andy is going to win with this much charge, is going to win any infantry fight that happens here. If Adder decides to strike first, then you just fully heal and then finish them off. If they decide to just chill over here, then you're always threatening to hit them with the super, or hit them and then heal up with the super. And Adder doesn't have an amazing way of just healing this. So you can use your one infantry to try and force another unit to come over here. And in the current position, +1 move is not enough, right? Because they 2 to go over the mountain. So 1, 2, and then 1, you'd need 5 total to get from this over here and onto here and smack. I'd like to be on the mountain threatening stuff as Andy. Oh boy, that's a lot of Adder units stuck over here. Okay, we have a Neo tank, very expensive. Oh, there we go. Well, we really like the last turn, but even this turn, it's still good. Ooh. Here, I really want this artillery guarding this medium tank. Because Neo tank plus tank shot from Adder is going to take this down. And there's a lot of infantry over here to just kind of get in the way of these medium tanks trying to avenge it. So in this position, you really hate being Andy. Like, you're fine being Andy if you're attacking from this position, but if you're ending the turn in this position, it's awful, because Adder just chooses which side to attack, and then the other side can't catch up to help. Alright, here we go. Side slip. Here comes the Neo tank. Pop. Down to 2. Here comes the tank. Gone. And then kills this tank as well. Even gets to pop this little infantry off. And then look, they're just standing in the way. They're just being super annoying, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So very nice Adder power there. We're going to have the Andy super in response, so going for a few attacks here with the heal up right after. The attacks on the infantry could probably do after the super for some more damage on them, since you're taking very little back from them. How much does that heal up? Not a ton, like 8,000. Oh. Let's try and interrupt these captures, but there's still so many Adder units over here. So another medium tank. This is another. I mean, this is probably fine because it's on the forest and you do have the +10/+10 stats. Hey, we got our swing over here. This is one I would probably have attacked and then healed up, because you knock them probably to 7 and then you'd be back at 10. I mean, it's still a winning engagement, but when you're at 10, then they have to do something about it, because if you try and run away, you just start capturing their comm tower. Okay, so Adder's going for some sacrifices here. This is to generate a lot of charge. Wants that normal power and gets it right here, I assume. Yep. Ooh, does. Ooh, going for the sacrifices but not going for the normal. Okay, there's the normal power. I'm gonna say that's pretty sketchy to not go for the power if you go for the sacrificial attack. And again, we're kind of stuck in that same situation of everything's just in the way. So the medium tank, both of the medium tanks can't actually reach the Neo tank for like the retaliatory strike. The tank does get forced over here, but Andy did not have a response taken. Another nice mech strike. That's like getting a lot of value. Now those mechs, look how annoying these little low health infantry are, just standing in the way. Ooh. Oh yeah, with the help of the artillery, we do get to break through here. Tank plus the mech gets to strike. And then we have an interrupt. A really good play there from Adder. H20 is doing a good job of maintaining this income lead. Ah, doesn't quite save this capture. Needed to get one more damage. That doesn't look like that was actually possible. Oof, just barely missing out on a whole bunch of these kills. And that's just happening because of that +10/+10 stats that Adder's got going on here. This looks like this base might be about to get cut off. We'll see. And he does have to go for a base skip here. Not exactly what you want. Go for a capture. Looking good. There we go. Kill off that infantry. That's the only thing that was making sure that Andy can... and the artillery is also helping out. Is making sure that these units can travel back and forth between these fronts. We do have the artillery locking the base. 2 artillery, and then the Neo tanks guarding these units while healing up. So this is becoming very awkward here. There's no super healthy infantry in range for Adder to start capturing the space, but we'll just deny it. And now that this harbor has been captured, there's also the play of saving up for an offensive battleship. Oof, another city's going to go down, and he's just not quite able to get those kills. Does get to kill that artillery off. It's probably going to cost this medium tank its life. It might actually cost both of them their lives, which would be pretty bad. But we'll see how Adder decides to go about this turn. Most of the units have been cleaned up over here, which is nice. On this attack, although lots of properties have flipped, Adder now has that income lead. So here, we get this artillery shot on this medium tank, and then we have Neo tank and medium tank, and then potentially 2 tanks to attack in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The medium tank can reach. We're going to sacrifice an infantry Tesla, making sure that they get the rolls they want. So just like that, 2 medium tanks go down to kill that 1 artillery. Very nasty. Oh, it does save that. Builds the black boat. I don't think that black boat's actually needed. Probably, I would say it's a pretty sketchy buy from Tesla. Tesla was really scared, I guess, of this getting captured. And then H20 resigns. Yeah, I think the Adder control of this area, and then being able to just do the slam into one side while the other side can't catch up, it was just good. GG. Tesla did a very good job of playing around Andy, making sure to kill those units off. seen that kind of scenario many times where someone will do a power, they'll attack Andy with a whole bunch of first strikes, but they're all just hitting units down to like 4, and then Andy flips around, hits the super, and completely destroys the opponent. Okay, next game we have Atomicgoat versus Shoop. Is that right? Jake versus Sami on Tiger Hunt. Yeah. Oh, the meeting tank going down to the Neo tank. Gotta be really careful with those choky areas of maps. The body blocking is very good. Okay, I don't think I know this map. I know I've seen it a few times. I don't think I've played on this. It is called Tiger Hunt. We've got the 1 base over here, and then the 2 base airport down here. That's kind of... we saw Grit versus Drake. Was it Grit versus Olaf? One of the two on this map. It's high funds. It looks like it's kind of set up to be a lab race. It's 2 base airport versus single base defending. But the single base has a bunch of turns to build up first. So we have Shoop going for Sami, Atomicgoat going for Jake. Jake's definitely got the stronger powers and day-to-day when it comes to fighting in the high funds, because you have a lot of really big, beefy units. There's quite a bit of planes about. But Sami's got that, I win super, especially when there's a single lab that you need to capture and it doesn't have very many defenders. Just having to have 1 infantry within 5 squares while neo tanks and bombers and fighters are running around attacking each other, you get that victory march surprisingly quickly and then just immediately win the game. I assume is what's going to be Shoop's plan here. You can also do some serious mech spamming, but usually that's going to be on maps where you have more than just the 3 pieces. Or for Sami being effective combat-wise with a bunch of mech spams, we do have our first mech and an APC down here. We're going to have some transports, as you would expect for Sami. And we'll just have to see how does Atomicgoat try and punish Sami for the kind of more economic, lower power plays. Teching up against Sami is, of course, very effective. We're going to see some Opter spam. Looks like it's going to be the option. It's going to be Opter tank to try and overwhelm the 1 base, which is a little bit iffy, I would say, as a go-to strategy, because if you're trying to enter into a lab race, like I'm going to try and overwhelm your 1 base, and then Sami's going to try and overwhelm yours, you're going to lose a lab race against Sami. Her whole thing is being really good at capturing things. And something else that Sami can leverage to try and win these fights is early victory marches that claim multiple comm towers, or even just putting pressure on comm towers and going for those captures, because she's behind in firepower natively, but if you can be 3 comm towers to 1 or 4 comm towers to 0, then that makes up for a lot, and can also start making the opponents foot soldier count look very fragile, because once Sami reaches that quadruple comm tower status, you hit Victory March, your infantry can one-shot the opposing infantry on, like, I think plains, but definitely roads. And then suddenly it's, oh, every single one of my Sami infantry that's within 5 tiles of, like, this Jake infantry just runs over and shoots them. And then Sami will have, like, maybe like 13 infantry against 2, and then there's just a bunch of vehicles bending against like staring each other down. But Sami can suddenly start going for a whole bunch of captures that are really hard to interrupt. Sami's surprisingly annoying in tier 4, even in fog. She's very interesting in fog. In high funds is where she performs the worst, for sure. I've had some wins with Sami in high funds, but I think I've only done that either if it's a cheesy map, which this is kind of looking like, it's got the lab race, or a map that has a ton of extra, where you can just really spam out a bunch of foot soldiers and like tanks and stuff. Here it looks like we're just gonna have a bit of a stare down. Looks like this city is going to flip in favor of Atomicgoat here. Got some rockets, or a rocket set up with a bunch of mechs hanging out. As long as all the mechs are really close together, it makes it tough for people to attack in. Ooh, especially with a mega tank. Mega tanks are essentially slightly faster mechs that hit hard. They're like the mech's big brother. And Sami tends to enjoy mega tanks because minus 10 firepower to a mega tank is still going to pretty much one-shot everything. Pretty interesting that this copter decided to charge in here on this mech like that. You can go down to this anti-air, but there's only one anti-air over here, and there's lots of these other copters. Ooh, a huge front shift to try and catch Sami off guard here. Probably a wise idea, because Sami's getting kind of close to just rushing down the lab. Do hit there, clears the forest for the anti-air to strike here, and then we have some copters that can go for copter strikes if they want to. Pop, pop. And try and hit all the infantry, it looks like. This doesn't look insanely secure to me. We'll see. The nice advantage that Atomicgoat has in this situation is that the army is far more combined for Atomicgoat in comparison to Shoop. So kind of similar to what we saw in that last game. Jake can attack one section of Sami's army while the other section is unable. In time. Do you think Sami's a bit stronger in high funds? It is true that she has an easier time reaching Victory March in high funds, or like surprise Victory Marches, but for Victory March itself tends to be worse because it's harder to maintain those high levels of infantry. We do have a Jake Supa. Ooh, takes out the mega tank. It's pretty good. We do have a Victory March next turn, but Jake's trying to play around this pretty effectively, making sure like the comm towers are stood upon. They can't go down easily. We're gonna have some strong mech attacks, and of course, Shoop here as Sami doesn't have to use the Victory March. You can definitely hold it and continue to threaten. And I suspect that's what we're going to see. To kill off this copter. Neo tank's kind of fine. Another helicopter strike over here. Moving this Neo tank up. Fall back a bit. Falling back seems like a wise course of action here. Sami did take quite a big hit that turn, like losing that mega tank and everything, but you know, the foot soldier count, it's a little bit behind. It's still very doable. But this is kind of the concern that you'll see in high funds, is you have a lot of money, and if you have just the regular number of bases and airports, like mega tank, tank, copter, just a single infantry. And these kind of buys are going to be very, very frequent, I would say. So it becomes really difficult to get those foot soldier counts back up to a healthy number. And Sami's powers, her day-to-day, her normal power, and her super only really matter for foot soldiers. Everything else is just getting that +10/+10 that all powers give. So the more your army becomes vehicle-based, the worse and worse Sami becomes in comparison to just any other CO. We're going to victory march this turn. There's one city, maybe two that could potentially be captured here. Oh, this one could too. Looks like that's not what's going to happen though. One, two, three, four. If something else had cleared this, then this mech could have captured, but yeah. Pop, pop. Mech does get through here to hit the artillery, which is nice. Okay, gonna take out the anti-air. T-copter is just gonna block to stop the mega tank from hitting the Neo tank there. Oh, we do get that city anyway, just don't get this one. Okay. Up. Okay, so a fairly decent attack there. You still lose one city as Sami. But a nice breakthrough over here and got to hit both of the artillery. It does have the unfortunate effect of being a little bit delayed in comparison to Atomicgoat super. So Atomicgoat got to use a super, Shoop got to do a super in response, and now Atomicgoat gets to do another super in response. So 2 supers versus 1. Potentially, I mean, yeah, okay. It doesn't have to, but I was pretty sure it was going to happen. There's another little sacrifice. Doesn't actually get to kill the mega tank this time, so that's really good news for Shoop. I'm kind of surprised that Atomicgoat went for that. It really didn't want this mega tank to hit the other one. Ooh, sends the tank in to finish off, or to just kill this infantry. It's going to be a tank for an infantry trade, which sometimes you just do that in high funds anyway, because once your opponent's out of infantry, they can't take your stuff anymore, of course. Again, Sami is going to be pretty nice as well, because of that, that I was talking about with, if she has no foot soldiers, she's just a negative, so. But, you know, strictly value-wise, it's of course not a great trade. Down goes the copter, down goes this Neo tank. Honestly, looks pretty okay over here. You can always build 1, 2, 3, 4, a mega tank to cover against this opposing mega tank. The APC. Oh, it's over here. We have a fighter in response to the fighter and bomber, so we might be starting to enter into. Okay, didn't end up building a mega tank. That's okay. Looks like we're entering into an air war. This happens a lot in high funds. Because as you'll note, bombers are pretty good at fighting the ground armies. So people buy fighters so that they can kill each other's bombers, and then the answer to all the fighters tends to be just your own fighters, and then you'll have just like a ton of fighters getting bought, because the person who has fewer fighters is going to lose their bombers and also lose their fighters. You just fighters arm race. little dangerous here for this this mega tank. I don't remember what it killed. I think it was an anti-air, but it gets surrounded by copters here and then killed off by a mega tank on the following turn. One health mega tank gets the kill, runs out of the ammo. Good job, buddy. Ooh, that rocket did 3 damage. There's our surround. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go for all the attacks with the copters like that, because as you see, the mega tank does hit them back pretty decently. And of course, copters are not super easy to heal. Yeah, it's gonna go down. It gets trapped. Ooh. Anti-air does get taken out here, but we still have this fighter covering everything. And I guess the... Oh, no. I was gonna say, I guess the bomber's going in there to try and kill off this rocket, but that still doesn't work out amazing. Ooh, that's pretty dicey attack from Atomicgoat. His mega tank's gonna go down for that. Here we have the fighter stare off. But yeah, so if you're looking at this, you're like, oh, how am I going to be able to threaten this bomber? Their fighter is going to outzone my fighter. Well, if you have another fighter, then you're fine, right? You can fly into their range. Their fighter hits your fighter, and then your other fighter finishes off their fighter. And then you get to take out their bomber. So, boom, down goes mega tank. And yeah, this artillery is just kind of chilling in rocket range there, so that's really good news for Shoop. Down goes that mega tank. 2 mega tanks went down that turn. Very expensive. It makes Shoop super happy when we're talking about unit value. That's a huge swing. Still down to 8 foot soldiers for both players, so in that respect, Shoop's not super happy. But, you know, just, like, Atomicgoat's only up by 2k, but just lost a ton of unit value. So this should give some time for Shoop to get more foot soldiers. And there is a victory march ready, so we can start setting up situations that threaten, like, both the comm towers, for instance. If I was playing as Sami, that would be what I have my eyes on. Atomicgoat obviously does too here. So we have an anti-air just kind of chilling here. But of course, even if you have your eyes like on these comm towers, make sure you're having threats on a bunch of different cities with the foot soldiers. You're just gonna have a bunch of mega tank spam here. Only gets 1 more foot soldier out. The anti-air is going to be pretty valuable for sure. We're gonna have a block rock. I think this is the 3rd one. Zoom takes out a foot soldier, takes out a copter, tank. There's another one of these dive-ins with the 2 neo-tanks killing a mega. This one isn't going to be quite so effective. Of course, that infantry rest in peace. Because we do have the artillery covering this, and 2 mediums and a neo, so this mega also gets to come in and take out this anti-air, so I'm not as thrilled on this block rock as I have been on the other ones. But I do like that Jake's doing that similar thing where it's like, I attack one section of your army while your other one just is not quite in range to do anything. But yeah, down goes the anti-air. There goes the anti-air. The mech can finish off that neo tank. This is a little bit awkward because now the artillery doesn't get to fire. We're gonna use just a double time. That we double time in 4. The hit on the anti-air looks like. Just copter blocking. The moves forward. 2 anti-airs back here. A fighter move up. Team's good. Another fighter. I mean, 2 fighters versus 1. What does Atomicgoat do about that? Looks like the bomber is just going to fly back up here. They have only 7 move in comparison to the 9 of the fighter. So Atomicgoat can do that like exactly 1 more time before the fighter is just going to be in range of... well, not exactly 1 more time, but a few more times, I guess. But the fighter can get to in range to chase down the bomber, and it has to rely on blockers. Just ignore that double time. It's fine with like the stats, I guess. Not the worst thing. Not gonna be too difficult to... Wow, man, that does take up a lot of your charge, doesn't it? I mean, you can do 2 double times, I guess. Oh no! Something we've been seeing as a theme this game is units getting trapped. It's gonna happen to this fighter. Troops just deciding which unit should... I guess it's currently already blocked in. Oh, not quite though, right? Because Atomicgoat, anti-air 5 health from the planes. Does that just kill the T-copter? I think it would have killed the T-copter since it did kill an 8 helicopter. Yeah, decided to let the fighter die. A missile. You can... Yeah, I think we've seen missiles on this map before. But that was with grid. Pretty sure. %. I thought that they did more damage to T-copters than copters. Yes. In Advanced Wars, it's impolite to fly over your opponents. Macadee. Ooh, a victory. This is that kind of victory march I was talking about before. Both comm towers. You say, yes, please. And now suddenly it's plus this turn, you know. Well, this turn the infantry are going to be doing a lot of damage. Even like the copter is going to be at plus 40%. Zoom, take the city. And next turn already threatening the lab. Down goes the Mega here, I believe. Ooh, it lived at 1. Hey. Atomicgoat, unfortunately needs to use... Well, it could use the super, but it needs to take out this infantry. The fighter comes down, takes out a copter. This is dicey because we have the 2 anti-airs over here, and I don't know if he can really spare the units to kill them off. Really wrapped around, hit that mech. There goes the copter. Okay, down goes that anti-air. It does kill the infantry, okay. And this guy can kill the other one. Ooh, went after this one. Ooh. Okay. It's gonna be a pretty brutal fight. But you'll note that this infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is in range of the lab. Now, with a victory march. Ashu did just use a super, but when you have a power like this, you can sometimes just, like a victory march, you can be like, what if I just sacrifice every single unit I have? Can I get my super? And I mean, Sami does have over double the supercharge needed in army value. So if you find just the worst possible attacks, it's not impossible. I don't think we're going to see it though. Troop does not seem to be trying to go for any attacks like that. A nice mega hit. Need a fair few more of those. Yeah, I don't think it was possible. There's not quite enough stuff for like these dudes to sacrifice into. We'd really need like an opponent's mega tank to be chilling on a city or something, and you can attack it from the road. It gets like halfway there, so it's not like the worst at all. Also looking amazing in unit value and unit count. And comp tower count, of course. Goes off the anti-air. Does make sure to kill off that infantry. That would have been not good. There's no answer to this bomber right now, but the bomber also has 7 fuel, so doesn't need to have an answer. Another city is going to be falling here. Oh, 1 health infantry. It's looking for a property to steal here. The infantry is not quite in range of the city. Atomicgoat just resigns, though. That's a pretty tough amount of unit value to come back from, and the quadruple comm tower is looking real nice. Ooh. We're celebrating the 20-year anniversary on the 8th next month. I could join. Oh, if I could join some live games, I might be able to do that. GG. Just barely maintained enough foot soldiers as Sami. I think Atomicgoat was doing really well until a bunch of those traps came into play, and it's easy to fall for those. It's like its own little skill, checking for traps. This is Flame Pieman versus Slame. Live League. Devil Might Crawl. Hawke versus Sasha. F1's almost never makes it beyond turn 20. Not unless it's like super stalling. Alright, well I'm more in favor of Sasha. So there we go. This is a pretty wonky map. So we have pre-owned airports in the corners guarded by missiles. Have I'm not a fan of this map. I'm surprised it is in the because I'm pretty sure this is turn advantage in the center, right? Like if you go here with your infantry, they go there with their infantry. You start your capture and then move another infantry here. And if they go for their capture, you can interrupt from one of their nice cities. If they go for the interrupt on you, you already have an infantry here to hit them. I did see that you can now set the unit HP when making maps, which is cool. H20, you were the first game. New submitters get to be gonna be phase 1. It'll be the very first game. So over here, you can send a mech or infantry to clear this out, or you can send an artillery. You did miss it. I'm so sorry. It looks like we're going to go with Slame's artillery here right away to clear this missile out and then give access to this airport. Ooh, Slame is going to go, the Pieman is going to go for a tank. And this is what I was talking about with this looking very turn advantage in the center. Goes for that capture. Yeah, see? You go for the capture, they get to finish their capture and interrupt your capture. Exactly like that. Anyway. Artillery gets to shoot the missile. Here you could build a copter, because the 4 health missile can't kill it. But decides to wait another turn, which is fine. Looks like Flame or Mr. Pieman is going to get this comm tower here, which would give that plus 20%. Nice, while Slame is rocking a 0% bonus of firepower. But, you know, it does have this nice advantage going on in the center of income. And it also has Pink Chain coming on here. This comm tower does get taken by Pieman, but it looks like it's getting ready to be flipped by Slame pretty quickly here. And these attacks on these missiles, the attacks on the missiles do give a lot of charge. Oh. Infantry do end up going down here, but that's just because these tanks are now here. The base from the side here for Pieman has been able to impact the game a lot more than Sasha's has at this point. But on the flip side, Sasha does get more income out of having more rather than being built out of it. Gonna join Cap to go for this capture here. Depending on how Pieman decides to play this, Slame will still be able to interrupt it. Right now, Pieman's going for this lab and then also has an infantry over here very close to going for this lab. If it was able to go for the lab capture, it would actually just be straight up GG. Aw, not quite able to save this capture. When you join units together, they get healed to the max of their little health points thingy here. So like this says 5, which is 41 to 50% health. But if you joined up to 5, you would be at exactly. Pieman decides to go for the capture on this dead. Rather than finish the lab capture, it's putting a lot of pressure on Sasha for sure, who is now behind in captures at 14 versus 15. Still ahead in income just because of Sasha's nice day-to-day. And down here we did have the Hawke infantry actually defeat the Sasha infantry and therefore deny the capture. You're gonna get a bunch of little attacks over here, but no infantry interrupt this capture, so Hawke is gonna get this one. Sasha has this nice attack now coming in from this one base. This is capture going with artillery backing it up. There's an anti-air here to deal with this copter, but as you can see, the anti-air is being blocked off. Who goes for the tank first strike. Does have this nice plus 30% firepower just because Hawke owns both comm towers and has a base plus 10%, while Sasha has just that classic plus 0%, but is still attacking into base range. We'll see how that ends up going. I think we're going to try and take out this anti-air a bit, or at least weaken it, and then go for a bunch of body blocking, I assume. Might have this infantry go here, infantry start capturing there rather than finish this capture, yeah. And then you can have the artillery backing it all up while also staring down this poor innocent city. Or not city, but base. Which makes it look like this base might end up just flipping really soon here. Sasha does need to make sure that Hawke doesn't get a normal power off this turn. There's no tank attacks over here, so I don't think it's quite possible. Actually, it might be if like the anti-air hits this tank and then this tank hits this copter. Then you might be able to do the normal power, which will do 1 damage to all of Sasha's things and heal Hawke's units for 1. Which might not sound that impactful, but it would. I mean, it injures all the units, but also makes all these infantry really bad at capturing. Doesn't look like Hawke went down that route though. It does mean that Sasha's going to have some time to drain some of this charge. Okay. We're going to start it off with the market crash right away. Ugh, it really doesn't drain that much just because it's kind of low income right now for Sasha. Does get to interrupt that capture, which is nice. The anti-air gets to finish off this one as well, I think. Wait. Only if this tank dies. Oh, it doesn't die. Well, very good news for Hawke there. I don't know. I guess right here, Sasha has to like double sacrifice these infantry in. Try and get this low enough with just rolls. Because if this tank is then able to go here and finish off this anti-air, this guy doesn't finish this capture, it starts capturing the base. Although I guess it's okay for Hawke because this infantry is here and there's nothing to block that tile. So Hawke would have been able to interrupt it. But Sasha does get some city flips here. Oof, and that's very painful. Kind of makes that line, that order of attacking really questionable. The copter gets to come in here, clear it, and there's nothing over here that can deal with the copter right now. This has to fly up. So Hawke is going to be able to save this base. Now Sasha doesn't have enough charge to use a normal power to stop Hawke from using a normal power of their own. So usually when that happens in Hawke versus Sasha floated a lot of cash here. This is to try and stop Hawke from getting the super, I guess. But usually in Hawke versus Sasha, as soon as Hawke gets that normal power, the game tends to go heavily in their favor. We'll see if that's the case again. Obviously, these copters are going to have some really good attacks here for Hawke. Are flipping some more cities. Now this base is kind of put under a lot of pressure. We do have a full health infantry and able to go for this base capture. Never being able to spare an infantry to like take the city and comm tower is real rough. Anti-air actually fails to kill an infantry on the plane. Go for a medium tank. Try and save this base. Hawke does clear the way for this copter to interrupt the base capture. And unfortunately here for Sasha, there isn't another full health infantry in range of this base. So it looks like Hawke is going to successfully save it. We're going to go for a market crash right away. We even have a Hawke Neo tank coming in. Yeah, copter clears. And then it clears so the anti-air can then take out this copter, but you're stuck in the situation of not being able to stand on this mountain. And there's there's only one tank to strike here. But there's artillery too. Artillery plus tank should clear the artillery, this anti-air, and then this copter can interrupt the capture. Oh, maybe not. We do. Oh, the plus 10 stats was just enough. It's still not going to finalize this base capture, but it does put a lot of pressure on Hawke for sure. Ooh, you did the anti-air, you survived. Unfortunately, though, this copter is still untouchable, so it will be able to save the base next turn. And right now we have 19 properties against 12, and Sasha just resigns. GG. I really liked it. Really liked the attempt to take that base. If that had happened, I think Sasha would be able to make it back to the game. It'd be a lot easier for Sasha, of course, to take this comm tower. Getting that done earlier, I think, would have changed the outcome. But I really like the attempt there. GG. And nicely done from Hawke, saving that base. Some pretty clutch unit placement. All right. I did change this person's name to Girl Lover from Yuri Lover, which, I mean, it's fine, but it was a little edgy. You get to be yellow comment. Hawke stays winning. Here we have a Kindle mirror. So you just don't have too much visibility on the comm tower in the corner. Let me get big. Who cares about that comm tower in the corner, right? Yeah, yellow, black, with some pawns. Source. Alrighty, got a Kindle mirror, always nice and explosive. Everything just dies around cities due to both of them having an amazing day-to-day and also urban blights to clear. It's not the worst mirror though, because the normal power and the super are both pretty effective, and that means that if one player is going for normal powers, the other one can still respond with very effective supers. Early on though, Kindle's urban blight is by far the strongest, by far one of the strongest powers, so it can still be very game warping in that regard. But the mirrors are always the worst when it's playing a CO that like only wants to do their normal power or only wants to do their super, because then the person who does it first tends to have a huge advantage, or second, depending on what kind of power it is. Okay, so we're starting to do the camping on cities here, so that's going to be fine until the normal power starts being available, at which point you like stop wanting to camp on cities. Oh, this is very dicey. So over here we have tank plus infantry. You step onto mountain, clear this, then tank strikes from the city onto a tank on the road. Seems really good to me. We'll see if Yellow Comet ends up doing that. Doesn't do that. Just goes for the city capture. I'm pretty sure it I don't think this tank would die from it, but it'd be at 1. And then this would be at full, or at 10. I think if you have a comm tower, then you can get the 1 shot, or close to it. As is, this is kind of fine for Cobalt Ice. You get to clear that tank out like so. And potentially interrupt this capture, if not to. You have a little stare down going on over these comm towers, where you're capturing the city. You're also in range to interrupt the comm tower. Yellow Comm actually gets to finish this capture while being in range of comm tower. It's pretty nice. You go in and hit both these tanks. And then the tank covering from this side, a little sketchy for sure, because sure you can come and like hit this tank, but then this city's available to strike you from. Also overloading the units over here. As like the comm tower is getting captured and the city's now getting captured. This poor infantry and is trying to capture a city. The turn orders very much did not work out well for Cobalt Ice in these corners. Just chill over here. I probably wouldn't have attacked from this side because I think that's in range of a tank. Does go for the interrupt on the comm tower. I think you probably just have to let that comm tower go. I think Yellow Comet definitely should have let this comm tower go. Even though there's like artillery coming to lock it, the problem is this infantry can just step on the mountain, take care of this guy, and then the capture will be uninterruptible. Maybe this copter can get there in time. Huge breakthrough here by Yellow Comet, though, getting to start taking Cobalt Ice's property. So we do have the copter showing up in time. Or no, we don't. It doesn't actually reach the comm tower. So, yeah, that's just a... free comm tower there for Cobalt Ice. I start taking the tanks. Is also coming in, getting a lot of work done in the same kind of area that Yellow Comet captures. Oh, never mind. Decided to finish this city capture, so it isn't going to get this comm tower. Decided to just stand next to this infantry up here. Okay, Yellow Comet getting the captures on these cities first. We do have Urban Blight available for both players at this point. So you gotta be really careful where you're putting your units. And this is an Urban Blight in the capture phase. So you can have some really big swingy turns here to help with that. Well, Ice using Urban Blight makes a lot of sense. You can use the Black Boat to repair your tank and then send the tank up here and finish off this infantry after the Urban Blight. Hi. Hop. Tank. Ooh. Decides not to do that. Just to hit this tank instead. Does also kind of block off some travel, I guess. And this infantry can go up, start capturing, and even if it gets it down to 7, it can go up and finish the interrupt on this comm tower. And of course, the Urban Blight also denies, or at least delays, both of the captures on Cobalt Ice's properties. I don't know if this is a tier 3 Kindle mirror or a 2 tiers Kindle mirror. It might be. Either way. Response Urban Blight. It does get hit one tank, of course, and a bunch of captures. This will successfully deny this corner. Anti-air can just block the way, and now this one is going to Yellow Comet's favor. Nice body blocking over here. Now the anti-air can't get through because the anti-air is occupying the tile that something else would have to occupy. It's a classic maneuver. Ooh, okay. The anti-air decided to stand here and just clear it. It does let like this tank come through, but it's fighting in artillery range. Seems mighty dicey. Yeah. I think this is just going to quickly be real bad for Yellow Comet. I guess it's okay because there's not quite enough stuff. If there was one more thing in range, then this copter could move onto this tile. I guess it's still okay for Yellow Comet, right? You can fire on the anti-air and then have the copter stand here and then finish off the anti-air, and then this medium tank can't get out. Yellow Comet does have the comm tower. By the by. Decided to just chill there, so the medium tank can get out now. It does help maintain the artillery's health, I think is what Yellow Comet is trying to prioritize there. We do have a similar kind of attack going on over here, but there isn't an artillery backing it up. Oh, oof. That is so painful. Like an Urban Blight first to make sure you kill it would be good, I guess. But, oh man, the Urban Blight after is so bad. The Urban Blight like doesn't do anything to this, and then it just heals up to 3, and it gets to strike from a city. Gonna be a very painful turn here for a couple dice. Other comm tower getting captured here for Yellow Comet. We do have the Urban Blight. Pop 7 damage with a 3 health anti-air. Really odd that this medium tank is standing here. So the copter can move here, hit the medium tank, and then have the artillery come up behind. The medium tank has to spend its turn getting out of the way. The anti-air hits the copter and it gets shelled. That's not what we're going to see, though. One health infantry wars. Black boats slowly dying to Urban Blight, making sure no one can get these harbors. Well, Ice is doing a good job of utilizing this Black Boat's repair powers. You think does get to come up here and finish off that artillery. Of course, it does have to stand next to a city, which is never ideal, as now copters can strike from that city. But you gotta do what you gotta do. That's to join the anti-airs. Okay. Break free saves the city. Here comes the copter strike from the city, and then little follow-up strikes. It gets to hit this anti-air. Very painful turn. Very dicey to attack with that guy, though. No need to do that. I think Yellow Comet's got this in the bag. It looks very promising to have both comm towers and nice engagement over here. Really good blocking for Cobalt Ice, though. I mean, all of these land vehicles locked in here. copter stands there. We have to block off so the anti-air can't free them. This medium tank is working on this pipe seam, trying to break it down. Turns out it would have been really nice for either of these players to really squeeze out one artillery from these bases, put it on the city, and break these pipe seams so that they can't keep getting trapped in here. Elise, is this one of your maps? I'm seeing lots of claustrophobic cities. Or not cities, but bases. That's like the hallmark of an Elise map. Urban Blight. Poor Black Boat down to 1 HP. Ooh, it was enough to break this pipe seam, so the tanks can still get out now. It doesn't want to do anything really, but it got out. Okay, it looks like we're gonna lock the anti-air on here. Take out the medium tank. Oh man, that's real dicey. Luckily Cobalt Ice has taken out the artillery that was over here. And we do have an artillery on a city overlooking this medium tank that was just built. So that's a pretty surprising buy. We do Urban Blight 9 health artillery on a city versus 7 health. Down to 2. You get to kill it. Oh, it lives at 1. Delete the anti-air. Build a new one. That's fine. It does mean that this base should survive. I mean, this base is under a ton of pressure, so even though I think Yellow Comet's in the favorable position, if Cobalt Ice can get the base before Yellow Comet can, then you know, it's a huge change in who's advantaged. There isn't another Urban Blight, so we don't expect to see this get completely wiped out. It just takes a ton of damage. No anti-air over here, but we do have the copters helping protect against the opposing copter. A little dicey to put the copter on the... I don't think an Urban Blight's coming from Yellow Comet, so it's gonna be okay. I guess these copters can always sacrifice themselves in. Oh, down goes this base. Oh no! There isn't an infantry in range yet, but nothing more can get built here. Okay, this base is also really close to falling. Copter swarms coming out here. There's no... Oh, there's a fighter. Okay, never mind. I was like, there's no anti-airs to deal with this. But a fighter's going to quickly be able to come help. Ooh, it does get hit. We do break this other pipe seam. The medium tanks are able to escape, and now they'll be able to actually save themselves against this artillery. And anti-air by here, a little iffy. It just kind of dies to this artillery. And then the infantry can stand there. Yeah. And this C-cell copter can just chill to block off the medium tank from saving the base. Again, like, don't stand on the cities when you're against Kindle. Okay, so they're both going to lose the bases at about the same time. Yellow Comet still has the double bomb tower lead though, which is pretty nice. The fighter's going to get a lot of value though, as it's an unopposed fighter. There isn't one for Yellow Comet. There's just an anti-air over here. Neither player looks like they're going to get an Urban Blight to delay the base. Okay. And the game is going to transition to right versus left. This isn't the Leafs map, okay. Well, this really needs to just take this comm tower eventually. Alright, there's a little stare down happening in the middle. So we could break this pipe seam, save this city. We might even see it happen. Yeah. Artillery helps block. Fighter helps block. Oh, look at how good the fighter block is. Cobalt Ice is in position to try and take their base back. Okay. Copter comes in to hit the artillery. It's going to die for it, but the artillery position was really strong. Nice, 2-0. Yeah, I mean, you were fighting against an adder specialist. That guy's real good. Okay. Lots of really good. Oh no. This copter's out of ammo. So lots of really nice engagements here. A bit iffy on the extreme dedication to locking this base down. I think it's fine to just back up a bit and attack the stuff in the middle. So anti-airs don't one-shot fighters. Even a 9 health fighter when you have plus 30% firepower. But, I mean, obviously it does work great as a blocker, but I don't think that was a needed blocker at that point. And now it's not nearly as much of a deterrent. Copters. You get the Urban Blight. I mean, I guess you go double Neo-Tank clear this? Is that the play? Okay, we are going all in on the save the base approach. You have to double Neo-Tank, nice. That means this guy can go over here and hit the Tim-Tank, I guess? I wouldn't do that though, it's on on a city. Okay, just takes that guy out instead. Okay, well, things are looking very good for Cobalt Ice all of a sudden. I thought that Yellow Comet pretty much had it in the bag. But the double comm tower advantage was not enough, and Cobalt Ice is able to overpower both bases. And of course, also has huge threats on the HQ coming up. So nicely done. The patience on retaking the comm tower is, in my opinion, way too much. But it worked out. Next we have Dragoon 92 versus keatonfox on Super Nerve Wreck Remix. This is the game in high funds fog. Sturm versus Javier. So who knows what this is going to look like? Okay. Left face right. Sure. So we have just one comm tower per front or per player, and they're fairly safe. I mean, they're in between your two fronts and really far away from the opponent. They're not super convenient to get to with your own infantry, though. So having recons harass seems really good. One thing I will say, though, I really don't like when your opponent's got pre-owned properties, but it's in the fog, so you don't actually know that this is pre-owned necessarily. And, I mean, it seems like the obvious choice to go take the harbor anyway, but you'd want to make sure that they can. Yeah. I mean, there might be someone that would want to go up here instead and like go for this, and they go for like a fast comm tower or something. So, because it could be really devastating if someone built like a black boat there and suddenly you can't capture your harbor. Which is a pipe runner base. Ooh, we can build some pipe runners over here. Pipe runners are not amazing. Pipe runners attack at the same power as a rocket, if I remember correctly. Look at how sad these artillery are. Oh wait, no. This artillery just decided not to move into range, right? The artillery can see the pipe seams. Pipe seams are always visible in the fog, so they should be able to shell them. They're not doing so. I think I've actually played on this map. They're not freeing themselves. We did go for a quick black boat here as Sturm, so it looks like we're not going to go for... Oh my gosh. We're not going to go for any early recon harassment. We're going to go for a fast missile to lock down this airport, as the black boat will be able to transport an infantry onto this island and get the airport. Now we got... Okay, now we've got triple recon. Black boat just kind of chilled over here. It could definitely do some stuff picking some infantry up. keatonfox does go for the drop-off for the airport. The missile has like a mini panic attack. You move into range like, oh no, the artillery can shoot me. Oh no, I'm in the forest. It's fine. I'm doing pretty well. Why the need to put pipes in though? I think a lot of these pipes are in here for cosmetic purposes. You don't want to shell those? You can shell them and free your artillery, right? Yeah, it's a very nice spot for this missile. It's going to be really tough to clear it out. Something to keep in mind, though. Javier with the tower, the air units are not going to die in one hit from the missile. Especially since it's a Sturm missile, which is pretty unfortunate. It's true. Missiles are they're self-reliant. They have the vision range of their attack range. Well, I mean, sure, they might get an airport lock, but they were gonna get the airport anyway, right? You could get yourself a free artillery. Okay, huge push coming in here from keatonfox. You were shocked that the missile was built so early. It's only a Sturm would do it. Ooh, go for a quick bomber back here. Wow, okay. So, you don't have, like, I do recommend oftentimes for Sturms to build rockets and the like, just because they have the perfect movement, but I don't know if I would recommend it quite so much against a Javier. Going down more of the mega tank route is probably what I would suggest. Well, as I said, the Javier's battlecopter isn't going to get shot down. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get shot. But yeah, it takes 7. It survives at 3. It repairs to 5. This is a situation we saw a lot because there was a map that had pre-owned airports overlooked, pre-owned airports and pre-owned comm towers, and the airports were overlooked by missiles. But Javier could just build a copter in range of the missile and then take the shot and then go beat up the missile with the injured copter. You do have an injured copter that costs 20% more. In this case, the copter is super sad as it just moved into anti-air range. But I can understand the purpose of this. It just wanted to stand here to reveal the force that the artillery could fire. So we did some cheeky plays up here for Sturm, but down here we've got keatonfox, our Javier player, kind of wrecking house with this huge attack. Eagle Nightmare. Down goes the copter. It looks like keatonfox doesn't want to build any more copters in range of the missile. I mean, obviously it does take hits, which is unfortunate, but it's not the worst thing. Yeah, Sturm's in a lot of trouble down here. There we go. In a Neo tank. Really, it's a surprisingly low recon count here for a Sturm. Javier's also in a bit of trouble up top. We do have the tower shield here. I'm not quite sure why it was used. This pipe team was going to go down next turn. Yeah, I don't know why that tower shield was. That's okay. You don't have to know. I guess it does. It does let the copter get built. It gets shot down to 7, and then it repairs to 9, and the black bolt can heal up to 10. It's the defense against indirects. Yeah. Javier has extra defense against indirects, and then also extra defense from comm towers. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh no! Sturm also sent their copter forward to get eaten alive by anti-airs. I mean, the rockets are getting some okay value in, considering they're fighting against a Javier. But definitely some beefier direct units, I think, would be getting a little bit more done here. Ooh, the missile does get to hit a fighter up here. And we can drop a meatball. Should Sturm like to. Looks like we have the play to try and go for this airport while this one's also getting taken down. Ooh, the anti doesn't quite reach. Very daring attack in there with that fighter. Probably gonna get trapped. Oh, we'll see what can come in to save it. Like the black boat can step over here, and then the fighter's in a little bit of trouble. We are gonna go for a tower shield. Kills off that copter. Looks like the fighter's going to end up going down. I'm gonna make. There's like this pre-deployed cruiser, so that is definitely the place I would be trying to make my magnet if possible. I think it still hits over here though. We'll find out. Meteor strike. Oh, it hit the cruiser. Very nice. I think a unit would have to have been here. So very nice use of the cruiser. I'm not quite sure why those cruisers are there, but it does make everyone with missile-based powers, such as Sturm, Von Bolt, and Rachel, really sad. And this anti-air got taken out, so the fighter isn't even dealt with. This is a weak trap, as one side of it is a 1 health copter. Pretty... No, no, it looks like it's gonna hold though. Thanks to Sturm being Sturm with the extra defense. Okay, so the fighter is not gonna die, but it does take an anti-air shot to the face. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah. The anti-air can clear it, but then there isn't an anti-air available to kill the copter. Okay. We get the city flip. Not flip, but captured. A strike in here. Continue trapping this fighter. Hit it with anti-air. Start taking this airport. We did have a battleship built by keatonfox to control the airport. Recons come on in. We get a little rocket shot. Looking fine. Finish off that tank. It is in the range of artillery, but we have the rockets. So many rockets backing this up. Helicopters flowing on in. We have a tower shield for the extra stats, and I assume the battleship fires on the up there. And we get a nice Neo tank for strike. Black boat blocks the way. It has only 11 fuel though. I mean, that can stand there for 11 turns. That's still pretty good. Was there an infantry that could clear the 1 health copter? I thought it was in the range. I think the pre-deployed cruiser is there to do copter boosts. It could also be there for vision, I guess. And to make Sturms very sad. Okay, now here is Sturm. I would definitely be looking at just the normal power, as the opponent is pretty clumped up. Fighter survived at 1. So annoying, because it's such a good blocker too. If this anti-air goes down, this 1 health fighter is unkillable. A triple boost could work. Yeah, you could be loading in here. Boost, boost, boost. Oh, yeah. You can do that too. You can go infantry into transport copter goes into the cruiser, and then the cruiser boosts the T-copter, and then the T-copter boosts out. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. He didn't end up using the normal power. Fox does save the airport thanks to the battleship, and also gets this nice city, evening up the income. The indirects start pushing forward as well. The 1 health fighter does escape to menace the world another day. We have an infantry going for the capture on the airport. It's going to be pretty beefy. There's going to be 2 rockets shelling it, but only 1 rocket this turn. And as soon as keatonfox gets a normal power, then the infantry will be unkillable on there. Check in for battleships. Okay. I mean, the missile's gotten some serious value. We did have a little dive in to hit this fighter, or this bomber. I don't think it's really that necessary. But I think keatonfox just really didn't want the bomber to reach the battleship, maybe? I guess the bomber would be fighting in range of the missile. Okay. We do have the super drop. It hits the battleship, a neotank, and an anti-air, so pretty high value, but it's hitting units that aren't currently fighting. And then Sturm builds another expensive indirect. It's going to be a battleship chilling in this lake. Be doing so little damage. On the turns that keatonfox has a power going, it's going to do like nothing. And even the other turns, it's be doing like half that you would normally expect. Okay, so a very nice attack in here with keatonfox. Starts capturing this city. Backed up with indirects. Oop. He's going to be able to take this airport. Do have an infantry come over here to go for this airport capture. Still have a battleship in range to start delaying that, though. Ooh, it does get hit by this bomber, which is going to go down for it, but does knock the battleship down to 3. Makes it far less capable of interrupting anything. But this city is going to go down after, like so. This airport's been flipped, and now it's going to be really tough. Oh, interesting. Decided to go for the battle copter. We almost have this black boat here also repairing, but it's so low on fuel. It is a way to get the battleship back up and fighting. Very nice. Oof, all the units taken out over here. Now we're going to have huge vision problems for Sturm. The battleship can still fire down here, but again, we have another tower shield, and now, like the rockets, all 3 rockets and the battleship are going to be basically doing nothing this turn. One damage. 2 damage with the second shot. Enter doesn't even die. Ooh, damage. 0 damage. It's rough out here for indirect users against Javier. Builds another battleship. I feel like the mega tanks would really have been the way to go. Then you at least don't have to deal with that heavy indirect defense. I think at this point, Javier's got this in the bag. Like slightly not doing amazing when it comes to unit value, but up 10k, has the airport lead, and is fighting a primarily indirect heavy army. We will get to see some more meatballs fall, though. Looks like our Sturm player really likes just using the superpower. I mean, it is nice it knocks everything down to 2. But definitely don't underestimate the normal power for Sturm. It can get a lot done. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be mostly clean up at this point. We're going to drop a nuke or a meatball. It hits some units in the back, not doing much. Like this battleship. I think it was built just to pick up the meatball. Really nice magnets from keatonfox in this. We do save the airport again. Didn't fire another shot, so this could be join capped, and I don't think it's going to matter, but it's something that you can do. Ooh, over here getting overwhelmed. The bomber found the battleship. We did get to interrupt this hit this artillery, and then there's the join cap, so might be able to get the airport. I don't think so though. keatonfox can always use the normal power to get some extra firepower after just doing a few attacks. Yeah, like so, and then can save the airport. Just build a bomber on it. And of course, won't die to the missile, as we've seen many a time, especially with the normal power active. The lab is now starting to get under a lot of pressure. 2 damage. Poor missile. If Sturm was not against Javier, this would be a very different game. If this lab gets captured and the other one's going to go down pronto. Okay. Comes the meteor strike. It hits that same. Look at how nice these magnets are working out. Always in the back, little battleship doing his job, and Sturm resigns. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal game. This is definitely an indirect heavy map, and you have just huge choke points all over the place, and the comm towers are so safe. Javier seems like a pretty clear pick. Maybe global damage would work too. The last one wasn't even intentional. Okay, next we've got almost at the mech race. We've got the T versus Alex Daly. Nell versus Sonja. In another gimmicky fog one, huh? Oh my. No, I said I would do the mech race, so I'm going to be staying up late to get that mech race. Unless you guys want it next week. If you guys have to go to bed, then that's understandable. Okay. We have got a very gimmicky fog game here. You get a treat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comm towers. Okay. That's a lot of comm towers. Those are a lot of woods. Nell versus Sonja, huh? Typically, I would definitely say that Nell has the advantage in this matchup, but I don't think her positive luck versus Sonja's negative luck is going to be too impactful when you have 10 comm towers with some neutral ones to capture as well. The The Sonja Super is just going to be so good because you have so much firepower. Getting first strikes is amazing, and you'll also be able to look through all of those forests, which are going to be a huge pain. Anytime you have forests next to each other, it makes units walling insane. Because, like, if there's a guy here and you get trapped on it or something, you're like, oh, okay, I need to, like, that at least revealed that unit there. So I need to go up on the side and hit it. And you go up, oh, you just get trapped again. You, like, there's no way to get your strikes in. It's 11 towers because you have 50-50 odds to go forest units when you pop power. Okay, okay. Javier would be immortal. Here we go. Income's not looking amazing, but it's going to start ramping up pretty quickly. We'll see how the different players decide to play this out. Early APC, we do have black boats on the HQs. So this is going to be for just some early captures. We didn't actually unload. What? I thought we were going to unload so that go for this capture, but decided not to, and then went for a recon. I don't know what that APC is doing, but oh my gosh, look at that damage. Okay, Sonja with the triple recon. We go for the comm tower here for Nell. We have a tank moving out, another tank, little tank chains. Yeah, they kill off the infantry and then they turn invisible. I don't know what's going on with this APC. It's just carrying an infantry around. Okay, lots of recons coming out here. We do have airports that people can build from. Tanks haven't been able to get anything done yet. Don't think anything reaches. This is the only infantry that could have actually interrupted that capture. So T is going to get that capture. Has this comm tower. Recon does go for the strike. Not quite able to get the one shot. As Nell could probably get the one shot though. And it's true, the ABC can only move as far as an infantry. Just don't know what's going on with it. Okay. The tank very awkwardly kind of slides up next to this recon. It's going to get hit by a tank for its troubles. Surprised we don't see any artillery. Go for a whole bunch of clear. I was doubting these recons, but there's definitely a lot of infantry to attack with them. That is, I don't know what happened there. Alex Daly can reveal that tank with his infantry and then hit with the tank. There must have been maybe like a time skip. Had to step away after moving this recon away. Yeah, oh my god, the one shots. I expect Sonja's powers to be amazing when they come into effect. It looks like we're gonna have some copters coming in. Oh, okay, never mind. So copters do not hide in the woods, just so you know. So this is very visible. It looks like we dropped an infantry off down here in the corner. Comm tower does get denied. Tanks are now easting. do have an anti-air build. It's going to make it very dangerous for these copters. There we go. Now we attack a tank. It does live barely at 1. Recon gets trapped on its worst enemy. Oh, no fear. Comes in, gets the hit. Looks like we're missing a lot of these kills. I didn't think the Sonja bad luck would matter that much, but it seems to be mattering a lot. Lots of little 1 health units. Obviously, if all your units die in 1 shot, then the extra counterattack damage is not amazing. Okay. Ooh, we got the extra counterattack damage there. So we can see a Sonja super here. It's going to reveal a lot of the map. Bloop. Now only one person's playing in fog. Recon finishes the tank. The nice thing about these copters is that they do just kind of skate over these forests. They're super fast. Okay, and this is the vision for Nell. Lost vision of the copter. Got trapped on it. Oof. That's true. Even the copter and anti-air. I think Nell had to get a luck roll to finish that copter off. Oh, never mind. I take that back. There's 10 comm towers. Only in a regular game would that be true. Nell's got 12 comm towers, so instead of one-shotting everything, she's going to one-shot everything. Don't know why Sonja sacrificed the recon there. It looks like we're having a nice income lead here for Sonja. Comm towers are getting denied, but honestly not that big of a deal when you already have 10 of them. Looks like this corner is going to be falling to Nell though, which is really good. There's the copter. Corner is falling to Sonja. We'll see if Sonja is able to regain control over this corner or deny somebody's from flipping. And there does get a nice kill off on the copter. This poor copter gets trapped. It's die for its troubles. Do have a comm tower taken here for Sasha, and oh hello. Sasha saves up the cash and builds a stealth. Okay. Sends a copter in for its death, but I guess, it's to be expected. Ooh, it loses this copter for the infantry. You spot the artillery. Doesn't actually die. It needs a 6 health anti-air. Okay, the stealth is going to be super sneaky here. We go for the counter break. A lot of the map. One shot. One kill. Recon going after the anti-air. Infantry going after the anti-air. I don't know if it was possible to kill that copter from not the city, so capture there, but it is what it is. The tank survived. No! Okay. Reveals the stealth to kill a 1 health tank. What? Boldly moves the copter in range of the anti-air? I think Sasha must think that copters can hide in the woods. And it dies. Ooh, look at those. Aha! Take that! Counter break. Okay, the artillery are proving to be very effective. Guess Nell saved up just enough money to triple base skip build a fighter next turn. Now stealthy. You could have started. You could start trying to take these comm towers away. What is this? Kind of just builds a bomber. I think copters are basically bombers. Here we go, Lady Luck. Now instead of one-shotting everything, you can one-shot everything. Alright, get some vision. Ooh, that infantry survived. I mean, they are injured artillery, but I expected more. We did not build us a fighter to deal with this stealth. Nell might be just relying on the classic move of let it run out of fuel. Anti-air's gotten so many kills. Okay. Vehicles start moving up here. Ripple tank by. I think we are just going to rely on the stealth just running out of fuel and crashing. Artillery checks for the other artillery. The stealth gets trapped. What was it trying to do? Oh, it was trying to hit this tank from here. Oh my gosh. You can't keep forgetting this anti-air is here. It's killed so many air units. How many traps? The APC has moved away from the stealth, so I guess the stealth is just going to crash. Down goes the bomber. Ooh, Nell's going to start taking this comm tower. APC does die. I think the stealth is now doomed. Yes. Does get to kill a tank on its way out. We'll counter break. There. Now out of ammo. Not quite sure why the tank moved next to the stealth there. I guess it was trying to block any incoming APCs. Well, I mean, it's the stealth gets to fire again. Bomb tower does get taken here. Medium tank gets trapped. After it gets this, kill this off, we're gonna send the infantry over here to finish up these captures. It looks like, which is a good idea. Anti-air decides it's going to get its ammo back. Stealth is just going to crash and burn. Nell built an APC to flaunt it in front of the stealth. We have a lot of tanks coming in to clear off this black boat, but there's no infantry in range currently. Kind of leverage that in some way. Tank unable to kill off the other tank in one hit here. Lady Luck might be able to clear this. Survived it too. Might be able to kill the medium tank. That would be bad. Okay. Cleared out these guys. There's a lot of units just hiding out in these woods though. The infantry. Oh my gosh, a rocket? Infantry attacked from the base. Rockets are made out of paper. But if it gets into the woods, I could see it. If it like can hide in the woods. The only problem is like the opponent's right there. There's already a tank next to it. So you know that they know it's there. This tank can reach. It was almost a luck out that nothing would be able to reach it. The APC can unload. Oh, the tank didn't go for the hit though. The rocket will get to survive. You can unload the infantry here. You can go for the capture next turn. Doesn't do so though. Okay, rocket does fire over here. Infantry can take out that tank too. There's some tanks over here to start moving on over. They're gonna move offensively. No fear for the HQ. Fortunately, Nell did not actually unload the infantry. Go for the capture yet. So there goes a rocket. Rest in peace. Piece is taken out. HQ in major danger. We're gonna go for a counter break here. We're down to 9 units. Got our comm tower back though. Double anti-air tank. Seems like a pretty high. They clear out some units down here. Charge in with a copter. We do have a 9 health infantry on its way. So if somehow this HQ does survive, might be able to do a counter push on the HQ. Nell doesn't like that idea and is trying to block it off. Okay. We do have a 5 health tank here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Clear that with probably a 7 health tank. And then I assume the copter can clear this APC, and then the anti-air can clear the infantry. That is GG, I think. Yes. Unfortunate, but almost there. The intake is very forward here. Nell gets the capture on the HQ. My goodness, what a game. That is a hectic map, huh? I can understand running into the traps all the time. You'd have to be constantly looking at your replay to be like, ah, where was the unit? And all that stuff. Seems like a pain, but I think Sonja had the advantage, especially early on, but there was just a few key points that went really nicely into Nell's favor there. It kind of reminds me of the good old days when people could go into the old interface and you couldn't see replays. They'd have like a bomber or a neo tank that was just eating your units in the fog, and you could never see what killed your unit. The lights would just kind of go out, just flip, flip, flip. That's what like this anti-air over here was. Like the copter comes up and then it dies. The copter comes up and then it dies. £340. That's a big penguin. All right. As promised, Discord International Mech Race 2024. 16 people. Content's in it. It is the same map, looks like, as last time. You think the mech will win? If you're wondering why is there a Cobalt Ice Decopter down here, oh, you can't see it. There we go. That's because that was put there as per my penguin-y request, so that you can play as Jess. Looks like now everyone is Jess. I don't think everyone was Jess last time, but you can play as Jess, and you can resupply it. It was so Cobalt Ice would have an unfair advantage. You could load your mech into your T-copter and go for the HQ. The T-copter got put in a place where it can't move, but you can always keep it alive as Jess here. Yeah, rules were definitely stricter this time. there are a lot more than content here. We've got Fluffy. We've got the Herbivore. We got Sulfur Rent. We got Frostbite. We got Retotsker. We got Dipsy. We got Steeler. We got J-Tokwin. We got Rishi is here. Rhizomatic. Pinwheel. HJ MRT 07 or 07. Havits. Taunton. Puddle. And Vagabond. Is Steeler in this with 3 accounts? Maybe. I wouldn't put it past Steeler. We'll have to make sure, keep a special eye on Steeler here. We don't want to have any potential cheating going on. Let's see if I can have these guys alternating. You can face right. Looks like you're already facing left. Let's make you face right. Face left. Face right. And then we'll make you face left. Face right. Left. Left. And then you can face right. And you can face left. And right, left, right, and lastly, left. Okay, we'll see if that helps. This happened this game, or this year. I don't know when it finished, a couple months ago probably. Alright, so the premise of the map is that you're constantly moving, you're doing like a 50-50 guess, essentially, with your mechs every time they're having to cross these mountains. And each player gets to move their mega tanks back and forth, try and tag the mechs. And you're trying to get to the very end where you can like capture HQs, you can take bases and airports, and win the game that way. If I remember correctly, there's some strategies. Or there's a bunch of little strategies that we'll probably see. You can also waylay your opponent. Oh, that's right. If you don't want to take your 50-50 guesses, you can go the slow forest route, provided you don't bump into anyone else's mechs, and avoid the mountains entirely. And you'll be sure to get there to the end. Although you'll be really slow. Whoa. Who is... We're going to make it so order's not static. So Puddle going to delete their two mega tank. Move a mech out. All right. So we might see some aggressive plays here, as you can, of course, for instance, move around like this and waylay the opposing base. You might build some mechs and then build an artillery, shoot down the base and then capture it, and then you'll have 2 bases working your way up here. Sometimes people do that. I don't know why we had 2 megas get deleted there. I don't know if they tried to move it and they just kind of misclicked twice. Obviously, it gives a little bit of an unfair advantage to some players who are going to have to... who will walk by those mountains that are no longer being threatened by megas. Here we go. As you can see, the Slimes have already lost their first mech, potentially. Now, there can oftentimes be a lot of diplomacy that go into games, as we're about to see here as well, is, you know, your mech, it moves forward, it's next to a mega, but maybe you send that person a message. Maybe you say, oh, please spare me. You're just the, you know, you're like the first mega I've had to walk past. I won't shoot your mech if you won't shoot my mech. And, you know, sometimes you might be able to make that kind of deal with absolutely every player and just beeline it all the way up. Now, of course, if you're the very last player on the row and their mech lands next to your mega, you would be very foolhardy to not shoot their mech. Because if they get past you, they're just going to go take your HQ. But if you're one of these early mega tanks, if you're one of these middle mega tanks, then, you know, maybe some diplomacy is in order. It looks like Puddle is going to try and go the safe guaranteed route. Looking good. As we see another person falls. No! Falls to the mega tanks. Oh, currently Brown Desert is in the lead. Who is Rishi? Rishi in the lead. I think Rishi performed rather well last international mech race, if I remember correctly. Oh, Penguin's also taking the safe route here. Okay. You shuffle some megas. Always gotta be really careful with shuffling your megas over here, because as long as they have a mech on the mountains, you like can never catch them again, right? Because if the mech's here and it doesn't see your mega tank here, then they know your mega tank's here and they just will never step on this mountain. But if you move your mega tank up and then it's next to this mech, they're like, oh, I'll just move this mech here instead. So the map gets kind of solved as it goes on. People might lose for running out of time, sure. I mean, I think most of these players are pretty dedicated to the international mech race, so I don't think we're going to be seeing too many people dropping out, but it can still definitely happen. Yeah, we got a few people playing safe, but Rishi blitzing through here. Oh. Let them go. Oh, we have potential conflicts arising amongst the mechs. So far, they're behaving, but definitely not uncommon. This is the worst approach, making sure that one mech is sure going to die. Oh, it happened. Oh, I missed it. We gotta go back. Who deleted their mega? Okay, so we've got some diplomacy going on over here. Is this Rishi? Who's Koalice? Oh, Dipsy deletes their mega tank over here, opening up a channel for attack between these two bases. Now that might have been done through some diplomacy on the Discord or in the in-game message chat, or maybe Dipsy was just feeling the chaos of the time. But that does mean that we can have some base killing shenanigans over here against Fluffy. Poor Fluffy. I think Jess was required. Okay, here comes the infantry. Who's coming after? Tauntaun's going after Fluffy. Oh no. And the scary part here is if Fluffy doesn't watch the replay viewer, or like the replay of the turn, they're not gonna know that this is coming because they can't see the Mega Tank sacrifice itself in the woods. But if they watch the replay, then they should see the infantry stepping over the mountain and going to the left. Oh, you watched the replay. But it's also a situation of what you even do about it. Okay. Healer just kind of moving forward. Cobalt Ice. Gypsy again doing stuff. No one else is having shenanigans with the Mega Tank being deleted. Okay, Fluffy's moving forward with our mechs. Moving forward with all the mechs. Builds another mech. Okay, okay. Okay, so it's probably going to be fine. It depends on how many people content has kind of bribed into this. If Rhizomatic does not kill this, like the units attacking this base, then Fluffy could still overwhelm it. Oh, chaos. The Slime's trying to play the honest game over here. What just happened? Oh no! Puddle! Oh, Puddle drops out of the game. Puddle was doing all right. Not in like first place, but doing all right. Did have the weird self-destruct of a few megas early on. Doesn't mean that Content's feeling very confident in going this route. Oh, Content did not go for it. Did get to see... Can you see from there? I guess you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does see the mech on the base, and now is just going to be forever threatening to take it. But didn't decide to attack, so there isn't a deal with Rhizomatic right now to like let Content go for that. You do have that little mech fight going on over here at the same time. Right, so neither of these players attacked the infantry over here. Pretty interesting. Infantry, of course, do give a little bit of charge when they die, though it's not a huge deal. Oh my gosh, look at Retards go. And no fear. Oh no! Sulfurent, no! This is where Sulfurent would send a message, be like, please, not the mech. Oh, who died over here? Oh, no, that wasn't dying. I was just moving around. We'll see. Nope. No mercy shown. Shuffling a few mega tanks around. Right, Content. Very rudely standing in Fluffy's path. Would permanent snow make the mech race too long? I think permanent snow would make it so you couldn't have a mech race, right? You wouldn't be able to ever get past the first mountain. You'd step on it, and then the mega would kill you, and you'd step on it, and then the mega would kill you. Okay, Rishi and tied for the lead here. Making it to the end is a huge deal. Oh, Dipsy drops out. Okay. That does give a nice advantage here to Rhizomatic, who can just kind of walk over here and take his base. which isn't a huge deal, but it does mean that you can build a mech every single turn. You'll have more info. And you need to keep track of which mega tanks have vanished from the game due to people dropping out. So like over here for like Yellow Comet, things are amazing once you make it past here. Who's Yellow Comet? Havits. So Havits has it like really easy if they can just make it past the last few lines. And then might be able to talk diplomacy to get past these ones. Like, oh, it's okay. You still have like more mega tanks that you have to run into, but there aren't more mega tanks that actually left the game. Okay, so, oh wait, Fluffy doesn't have anything in this base. Is Fluffy about to lose the base? Marching up steadily, we will stare off over here from the leaders. Oh my gosh, Retard's so good. Oh, okay. Wait, did Content miss a time to take this base? Okay, go back here. Content did. Oh, wow. Decided not to take the base. What? Alright, well, Fluffy's thanking their lucky stars right there. Or maybe they had a conversation about it. I don't know. Oh, you can see how devastating it is. Your mechs keep getting eaten, and you're like way back here. You feel like you have no hope, but, you know, it doesn't take much. It's just a few leading mechs to go down, and then suddenly you're back in it, really. Ooh. Over here, the Mega had a choice. Oh my gosh. Content moves this Mega down. It's gonna let this mech walk right by it, I think. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, got some HMRT getting out there. Poor Pinwheel. Blundering into the Megas over there. There we go. Rhizomatic captures another base. Rishi doing well. I'm very cautious over here. Ooh, huge battle happening with the mechs on the mountains, and we have an observer. Looks like Fluffy is winning that fight from what I can tell. But this like bottleneck that Content's got going on over here is gonna be a huge problem. Who's the observer? G Talkman's just watching it happen. Okay. Oh, Retard's just goes here. Almost home free. What? Steps over to the left. It's gonna try and go for the cleaner escape, huh? Keeping track of who's left the game. Okay. Just Fluffy's turn. Can't miss all this action. Alright. Fluffy moves down. The shot over there cleans up. Not the leading mech for Content. We do have one more up here. And then we have more mech wars going on. The base is still secure though. Ooh. Another base is getting captured over here. How did that infantry? I guess it had to go up and around, huh? Okay. Ooh, oh, Vagabond's getting some progress in there with these mechs. I don't think Vagabond quite realizes how safe it is to move forward right now, though. Yeah, it's this game. It's the mech race. Okay, habits. Marching forward. Tied for the lead right now. Pinwheel. Oh, keeps blundering into these mega tanks. Rhizomatic doing their best here. Does have our double base situation. Could start trying to go over the contents area and overload it with just like a ton of units. Okay, Rishi. Neck and neck here. Oh no, the 7 health mech. It does reveal where this mega tank is. Itakwin not gonna attack Fluffy, just playing a very pacifist game. Does rock right into a mega tank. Healer gets to take out the habits. Who's a Rhizomatic or Rhizomatic. Pop. Still in the lead. So close to the final sprint. Does blunder one of the mechs. Oh no. Wait, how do you blunder that mech? Wait, what? Knows where this is, because sees it right there. So, that must not be a blunder. Did they have a deal? Maybe it's just a blunder. We'll see if it fires. Because that's real iffy. Looks like Fluffy's coming out on top in this conflict that Content has instigated. I mean, the one mech leading the way is nice, but it can always meet a horrible end. Okay, little Slime's trying to slide up the side here. Content. Oh no, Fluffy left the base open! Content does not miss the opportunity this time. Starts capturing Fluffy's base. Oh no, there's just a few mechs left. Goes for the... Oh, Fluffy is so dead! Oh no! Okay. Someone could try and save Fluffy, but I don't think it's going to happen. You talk when shows no mercy. Oh no, Pinwheel. Pinwheel, this happens every time. To two of them at the same time. Oh, I see what's going. We got some sneaky plays going on over here. How on earth did this happen? Does Rhizomatic not realize that they're like some of the last defending mega tanks all the way to the end there? And look what's at the end. It's Rhizomatic's base, or like HQ, one of the first ones to get captured. You can't do that to yourself. Oh no. Itakwin just peacefully walking up in the mech race, paying no mind to brutality happening just next door. Oh my gosh, Pinwheel, all your guys going down. I mean, this is... Whew. Oh my gosh, if two mechs make it to the end for one player, that's just complete beat. There's no way anyone else is going to get there in time or capture enough stuff. Fluffy trying to save the base. I think it works. Right? Dependent on what's the turn order? Okay, so I think Content goes and then Rhizomatic, which is very important because otherwise Rhizomatic could clear, and then Content could stand in the way. I think Fluffy is just barely able to save the base. There's only a few megas here because people left the game. Okay. You Frostbite making their way up. Vagabond. Doesn't actually have to worry about too much, but doesn't quite realize it yet. Content desperately trying to kill Fluffy. But Fluffy is going to barely survive here as this mech can move out of the way. This one can clear the way. And then we can just build a mech to save the base. Ooh, that was very close. Fortunately, the vision's always revealed for Content, or for Fluffy of their own base. The little mech go. Taking the slow route, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. Okay, so a lot's gonna come down to how this mech decides to play. Because if it just goes straight into the mountain, it's gonna go down. If they both just move up 2 and then just get eaten, then suddenly there's going to be a new leader in the game. Hey, Talkman's making pretty good progress, actually. Healer's making good progress now as well. Sportsgate, moving forward. How are we moving these mechs? Oh, okay, we're going slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, and I think it is going to win the race. But we'll see. Fluffy does save the base, clears the infantry, builds another mech. Like, he even has a mech still decently far ahead, too. This is all Content's fault. Yeah, everyone can zigzag their way past the mech. I mean, Retortska's got the zigzag. Get there first. Rhizomatic's pretty close too, right? Yeah, over here. Okay. Ooh, pretty good progress over here. We got 3 mechs together, so they can like guide each other up the path. Yellow Comet not too far behind. Maybe it's not going to be completely one-sided. I mean, Retortska is definitely going to get down there first. And unfortunate for Yellow Comet, they're right next to each other. So Retortska is going to go for one of these bases right away, and he like build a recon, and you can interrupt the other person for the capture. But if they weren't capturing, if they weren't both exiting the mech race right next to each other, then it'd be a little more interesting. Have some wiggle room to start building some units up there. Okay. So close to being on the final stretch there. Fluffy's still alive. Content. Looks like Content's made a deal. Content's making deals with everyone, just trying to kill Fluffy. One of those things where, oh, Fluffy's leading mech died. Oh no! Now it's just a game of how long can Fluffy possibly survive. I mean, you still try and push forward because it's very possible that everyone else is just stuff. Oh my gosh. Content being a huge bully. If you didn't know, Content's an admin on the Discord. Careful, they're ruthless. Fluffy's luck has run out. Fluffy's still alive. The mech died because that person thought it would be funny. Oh no! Poor Fluffy. I'm rooting for you, Fluffy. You just gotta survive. Oh. Content's making great progress over here too. I think Content's just gonna weave their way through the rest of the way. They're doing a good job making. I mean, these mechs are catching up. Oh my gosh. Absolutely wild. Retortsgate goes for the double mech clear of the Habit's leading mech. No need to do that. Like, if you're already in the lead. Habit's down. I know, that's savage. Fluffy with the join. Okay. Moving forward. Even when Frostbite's getting up there, although right next to it. Yeah, but the Mega might not fire. As we've seen, sometimes little deals are struck. Content goes for the turbocharged, really trying to kill Fluffy off. Fluffy has just enough money here so can rebuild a mech if need be. My gosh, Fluffy is down to just being a base. Now, unless... Oh no, how much money does Content have? Not enough, okay. Unless Content builds an artillery, Fluffy will never die. Fluffy can survive and build infantry forever defending this base. Like, you build it, it gets hit by a mech, you delete it, you build a new one. As soon as Content builds an artillery to fire, then Fluffy will meet a gruesome end. It'll be death by rout even. Okay, Rishi now really close, making it to the end. We do have Jay Talkman lose the leading mech on their side there, which is definitely unfortunate. Steelers doing great, making sure to remember where all the mechs are, or where all the megas were. Oh, really close. Oh, so Notorsuke sees the Rishi leading mech, might send the 7 health, which again was not attacked by Rhizomatic. They've got quite the deal going on there. Decided not to attack, but is blocking this route. This mech now has a straight shot, and it's going to be capturing... Well, it'll capture a base, because you want to be building infantry up there and other units. But the HQs it can go after are pretty juicy. Fluffy resigned! Fluffy, no! Oh, all units except infantry and mechs are banned in this one. Oh, wow, that changes things. Why do you even have airports up there? Fluffy, you could have held out. Content gets to revel in crushing Fluffy's spirits. Content starts capturing the base. Habit starts moving up here. So Content's green. Oh. Content's this guy. So gonna be captured. The HQ will be captured pretty soon. And Content will get to at least enjoy the fact that content didn't win off of that. Fluffy says no. Rizo has been played for a fool. The last line of defense. Jatakman's doing pretty good. Okay, Retortske has realized that this is home free. Oh no! The poor Rishi mech that was so far up also getting eaten alive by Retortske. So aggressive, making sure to maintain that lead. You gotta keep in mind there's players on the other half of the map, and they might be going for your stuff too. It's gonna be really important for Retortske to get some control over here by their HQ, because it would be really bad if you start capturing all these bases and what just happens is like a content mech just wanders out of the woods and takes your HQ. It can happen. Okay, Shamarty's got a nice mech. Moving on up. Rhizomatic starts shooting mechs, but I do notice that none of them were pink. And Rhizomatic's going to start trying to kill off the Herbivorius, who does have 2 bases. It's going to be a 2-base fight down there. Oh, Rishi's no. Oh man, Jatakman's going to lose another leading mech. They give a nice lead. Stealer almost home free. Where's Steeler? Okay, Steeler's HQ is way over here. So depending on how Jatakman goes about this, it could be grim. Vagabond also doing pretty well. Maybe a tiny bit too cautious with this mech. Hunter's doing some pretty good progress up here. Okay, Habit's completely cut off. I mean, this mech's kind of catching up, but it's definitely had a rough go of things. You will get to clear out one of the Jatakman mechs, but so far back. Rhizomatic kind of making some leeway with this mech. It definitely instigating some conflict over here for sure. Rishi got what used to be one of the leaders. Oh no, wait, did Jatakman somehow talk their way out of Sulfurent killing their mech, which is absolutely wild, and then blunders right into another mega tank. This time it's Habits. It's going to be absolutely, if Habits also doesn't shoot this mech, then I don't know what's going for bases tends to be better than going for 8. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Stealer, one of the prominent leaders on the right, just leaves the game. Okay, Retortske is super secure and moving up here now. Sulfurent, the only other person anywhere close where they are. Okay. The Frostbite, oh man, lost the mechs up here. Vagabond inching their way forward. They might have been able to actually make it there first if they were a little more reckless. Content going to slow and steady. I think it's going to end up losing their HQ before they actually make it to the end. Habits moving on up with a bunch of infantry rather than mechs at this point. Shorty also doing pretty decently on the left. Pinwheel lost so many mechs. Down to just a few in this line. Rishi, oh no, the leading mech again gets blundered. I had so much confidence. Retortske so close to making it to the very end. He's gonna start building units down there and capturing everyone's HQs. don't think anyone else is going to make it to the end here. I didn't check to see. Okay, it looks like yellow did not did not buy any of Jitakwin's begging and pleading. Did indeed kill the leading mech. There is another one here though, and it should feel pretty confident where to go. And well, Pinwheel's mech's making it a little farther. Alright, so ManaNek trying to calmly sneak the way past. Has done so a little bit slower than the initial one. Right, Torske has made it to the finishing line. Could go for an HQ right away, but I think we'll be going for one of these bases, and that tends to be the way to play it. We do have a turbocharge for Sulfur Rent. Oh. Sulfur Rent's mech does see the opposing mech over here with 7 health. They see each other. Uses the power. I think this is just for the extra defense, because it's going to hit him and make the captures slower. Ooh, Vagabond actually getting mighty close to the end on the very left here. Content shuffling some megas around. This mega actually took damage. I didn't catch that. Have its infantry just walk into mega, but it doesn't actually have a choice. And we'll know it gets eaten again. Okay. Alright, so ManaNek again not firing on someone over here. Oh. Rishi leaves the game. Rishi had such a strong start. Decides to bow out at this point. Oh no, Jitakwin! Walked onto the same tile, is gonna get eaten by this mega. Torske is now past the finishing line. Do we see an attack over here? Starts not capturing airport, just standing there. Okay, just gonna move up here. Not striking at Sulfur Rent. We're going to build a base, and I think the base is going to be able, or capture the base to use those units to just stop anyone else from getting anything up there. The left-hand side content looks like they're going to be the first at this point. Vagabonds make good progress too, and actually controls the route that content would have to go on. Oof. Oof, Habits takes another leading in its life. Okay. HMRT also not too far behind here. Pinwheel just kind of in trouble for sure. Rhizomatic, who's been letting people get to the end, far behind. Jitakwin is going to have another attempt to get past this yellow mega. Retorske does start the capture of this base. And it's just saying the 7 health mech up here didn't attack the Sulfur Rent mech. Yeah, once this base gets captured, it's going to be impossible for this mech to get anything done. It does make it to the finish line, though, which is itself a big deal. Herbivorious, making some decent progress, but it's kind of far behind everyone else. And it just walked into a mega here. Oh, for Frostbite, taking out Content's mega. Look at him go. Oh, and doesn't kill the mech over here, giving a second chance. Vagabond so close to making it across this finish line. Unfortunately, their HQ is over here, so it's going to get captured really quickly. Content sneaking their way past. Habits marching with a bunch of infantry. Okay, HMRT, not too far behind. Pinwheel, looks like they're gonna go and try and capture one of these bases down here. ManaNek loves being a pacifist. Might have tried to make a deal of like, I won't shoot at yours if you won't shoot at mine. I know the content mega is in trouble. Catacomb, really close to the end here. Torski does capture the first base down here. Then it's a 7 health mech over to the right. We might actually see Silverman be able to sneak away with Mech, provided it doesn't splunder into... Ooh. Starts capturing the HQ for Vagabond. Vagabond doesn't see anything else here, just sees the capturing Mech. Might resign on the spot, which would be catastrophic because they're really close to making it to the end. We'll see if they've got the nerve to stay. It looks like the Mega is going to die to these mechs. Frostbite deleting some Megas on the map. Okay, just cuz. Oh my gosh. What do you do here? How do you not resign? You're like, oh, my HQ, oh, my leading mech. They might not see the HQ getting capped. Like, who even looks up here? Doesn't resign, though. Content still creeping forward here. Habits, no mercy. Clears the mech, not letting them through. Rhizomatic is like the only thing here that could stop Habits' units from getting through, but seems to not care. HMRT still creeping on up there. Pinwheel, oh my gosh, Pinwheel walks into another Mega. Goes for a turbocharge. Very close to getting this base though. Rhizomatic, oh, Rhizomatic doesn't let this infantry pass. Okay. A change of heart, it would seem. Catacomb, oh, right behind Content there. Torske does save the life of Vagabond, who just lost the leading mech. Has 22k. Starts building mechs down here. Building infantry is probably the way to go, actually, because they're so much faster, but that's okay. Having the first base is just so powerful. Obviously, it's such a mixed feeling, right? Like, your HQ is getting captured and then their unit gets hit and you're like, uh-oh. There's not just one person down there. Oh, the Mega's gonna die soon. Oh. Very close on the left here. Starting to make their way. Okay, Habit's in a lot of trouble getting past. Rhizomatic there. Pinwheel, oh my gosh, Pinwheel. Well, this mech survived at 1. It's the power of the power. Okay, Rhizomech's getting pretty close. Catacomb does blunder a mech. Ugh, it's now over here. Gonna try and just weave on forward for the last hit. Torske does clear out Sulfurent's mech. Doesn't get to hit this one because of vision problems. Oh, gets to hit with a different guy though. Starts building infantry. They are a lot faster. Sulfurent trying to escape with the one mech that made it all the way to the end. The next Sulfurent mech is way down here. Trying to attack Habits. Herbivorous walks right into this Mega here. The leading mech. Very unfortunate. Frostbite making pretty good progress on this Mega. It's down to 5 health. Vagabond has some Ooh, okay, being nice and careful here. In a neck and neck race with Content, actually. Content? If Content had gone for it, then like the 2-step would have died. So very smart, weaving through. Really unfortunate that Content's going to be showing up over here while their HQ's over here. Very hard to defend that. But Torsuke's priority should probably be getting bases near their HQ so they don't just get captured. Talkman does lose this mech, but this one is real close. Torsuke had a bunch of mechs make it to the end here. Oh no, Sulfurant! Oh! Torsuke sparing HJMRT's life here by not even starting to capture with that infantry. Sulfurant still on the run. I think a bunch of people's HQs are going to get captured simultaneously. Something looks like it might be the plan. Ooh, Vagabond goes for it and dodges the Mega. Home free to start capturing some bases and make it past the finishing line. Very unfortunate that the HQ's over here, but you know, it's still something. Making it to the finishing line at all is a huge victory. Oh, Rhizomatic getting mighty close now. Yataquin almost there. And I think this does mean that technically Vagabond's gonna get there before Content. Content will be at the finish line, but Vagabond is going to actually pass the finish line first. Okay, more bases, so many bases getting captured. Don't know if Torsuke is quite putting the priority on getting over here, but I think they'll still get there in time. Sulfurant having to just settle for attacking poor innocent habits. Bravorius has an amazing mech count. The highest in the game, 25. A huge line going straight up. This Mega is so close to dying. Vagabond does make it past the finish line. Well, even made it past the finish line before Content even got to the finish line. On the left side, but now Content is at the finish line. Isn't going to get to the base first, though. You have turbocharge. We'll see what the diplomacy is like now, because it's possible that Content knows that Torsuke has been at the end for a while and might try and beeline it for the HQ here. We'll see. Rhizomatic about to make it past the finishing line, but sees that there's already people over here. And also sees that they're in between Rhizomatic's mech and Rhizomatic's HQ. Never a good feeling. Oh, didn't go for the capture on that HQ. Yeah, Torsuke is definitely trying to just like capture everyone's HQ all at once. Does now have an infantry in range to interrupt their own HQ cap too. Bravorius making some good progress here. The Mega Tank is down to 2. Vagabond goes for a capture of the base, goes for the corner base, which is a little iffy, but still very good to get a base. Okay. Havitz is on that final spurt, but it's the final spurt into an entire army of pink. if Pink wants, could even just block all the holes and then habits won't be even able to cross. Hi. Yeah, Retorske, you gotta be careful. There's people near your HQ. Gonna go for a bunch of comm tower captures up there. Bravorius, no, the leading mech runs right into a mega. So close to making it to the end. So far we've had 4 people, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Ulfaret also made it to the end, but met a terrible end at the end. Content uses the power to try and make sure that this capture goes through on this base. Pretty scary base to get, because it is close to Retorske's HQ. Not quite there, though. Rhizomatic does sneak on in here, starts capturing this airport. Since we're limited to just mechs and infantry, there's no way to get very good vision for these fights. Typically, you'd make it to the end and start building recons, and then everything would be fine. But yeah, not an option here. Retorske is being so kind, capturing all these neutral things. Just kind of standing on other people's comm towers. Bravorius, oh, so close to the end. Didn't get hit. Jay Talkman showed mercy. Oh, Frostbite killed the Mega. Congratulations. Mega down. You're pretty sure with 50-50 choices, you get at least 60% of them wrong. Yeah. Oh, elegant to it. This is the international mech race. There's one every year. Content does get a base up there. I think Retorske probably could have prevented that, but it's not a huge deal. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's the possibility it can overrun this little base, have a little turn advantage. Oh, Pinwheel leaves the game. Up. Pinwheel wasn't quite up there. Had some really unfortunate losses with the mechs. Rhizomatic is past the finish line, has an airport, although from my understanding you cannot build air units on here anymore. This is the future of Advanced Warfare. Man. I feel like limiting the bias to only infantry and mechs is not a good choice. I think it was better when you could build vehicles when you got to the end there. Content does have this little base and be able to build a mech every turn. Oh, our Bravorius can never make it through. There's too many infantry blocking the way. Same thing happens for Habits over here. You just get to stand at the finish line, never cross it. No mercy thrown. Vagabond is the only hope, but unfortunately, Vagabond's HQ is right here, completely covered with pink units. There's also the potential attack on Pink's base down here. It doesn't matter, but it could be something you could do to them. HJ Talkman gets an airport, but apparently no air units allowed. Retorske starts moving out. Sees the opposing base. Are we going to start attacking it? I don't know. I mean, I see someone else with a base up here. You know what I do? I start taking their HQ. Like, no questions asked. I'm not dealing with no competition. At least take their comm towers. Vagabond is up here getting some captures. The Herbivorous is trying to break through. Get some bases going on, get some comm towers. Have a huge little mech fight. Let's see, Content doesn't show mercy. Look at this. Sees HQ, takes HQ. Habits at the finish line, can't get in, just watches as Content brutally steals their HQ. No mercy. Content is, I think, the nickname now. It used to be Godslayer, but or Penguin Killer. I think it's just no mercy. Content. Rhizomatic deleting their megas that they rarely used anyway, letting so many people through, such as Pink, who's now going to start capturing all the HQs, has foot soldiers in position for every single one of them except for Yellow, which Content is already starting to capture of. But if Content completes the capture, then once Content's HQ gets captured, it'll be effectively captured. Welcome to Pink's world. Herbivorous does break through. Just doesn't have anything in range. No! Resigns right at the finish line. Your Frostbite got to kill the Mega. That's a victory. We have an overdrive from Vagabond. Does manage to save Purple. And then resigns. Content captures Habits' HQ. No mercy. Content starts capturing Purples. Rhizomatic, the leading units, had a base up here somehow. It was allowed. Turbocharge with the 1 infantry. Jatakwan gets to capture a comm tower up there, and then resigns. No one wants to let the HQ get captured, it looks like. You've made a deal with Jatakwan to help test the map in exchange for showing Mech's mercy. Boom, HQ taken. Boom, HQ taken. Boom, HQ. Oh, wow! Didn't take these 2 HQs for some reason. Let's have some sort of deal going on. Content captures that HQ. Starts deleting units. I assume we're going to now capture these HQs, and we do. It's a draw! No. No. That is not allowed. That is not allowed in the international mech race. You do not get to have draws. No. I declare this mech race null and void. As the official ref. No. That's not how the race ends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you put in so much work. But I must take away your draw. So Fluffy did not lose. No. There was no completed game. GG. All these players are banned, yes. Null and void. That's the ruling. All part of the Fluffy plan. So disappointed. Anyway, I hope people enjoyed the replay. We went almost an hour and a half over, but such is the way of the International Mech Race 2024, null and void. I give you all an apple. It's going to be in the next Quack Cup. That would be wild. I give you all an apple, and thanks for watching.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's